I know my victimhood has been a problem for me. I've squashed most of it. How do I stop the why me spiral? Well, even think about, I shouldn't even use this as an example, but I've noticed it in a couple of videos the last day. So with Matthew Perry passing away, if you watch his videos of his interviews, there's a real victim story going on, unfortunately. And he'll say things like, why did I suffer and the other 5 didn't? Why did I have this disease? Why did I have to suffer? Now, isn't that a victim story? So he could not get himself out of that victim story until he stopped being the victim and thinking of himself as the victim. And unfortunately, then he became like the ultimate victim, sadly. And as much as he wanted to change his life, he was still in the old life. So he was trying very hard to recover, but he was holding the story of himself as this person who was diseased and had a disease and associated himself with that person. And having had friends that had very similar demises and very similar histories, they did the same thing. They associated themselves with that person and they couldn't see themselves anew. And so they were trying very hard to be new and coming out of rehab and being new, but because they associated themselves so much with the old them, it was impossible. And that is addiction, but the people who get through addiction and are no longer addicts don't associate themselves with that addict anymore. And things like AA and NA keep you in that addiction cycle by constantly reminding you, once an addict, always an addict, or things are beyond your control. Things are completely within your control, and that adage keeps people going back to NA. That keeps people going back to therapy. Do you want to keep going back to NA and AA and therapy, or do you want to be different? If you want to be different, stop associating yourself with that person. My mum stopped drinking when she left AA. I'm not saying leave AA. I'm saying, are you constantly telling yourself the victim story? Then you'll always be a victim of that thing. Unfortunately. And that's, I think, sadly what happened there. And I don't think he did anything bad to himself. I don't think it was a unaliving thing. I think it was an accident. And he just was very unhealthy, right? And he was trying to make himself healthy. He was playing pickleball and he was trying to start his new life, but his old story was still there. His old story of his old body and his old ailments and his old health problems was still there, unfortunately, which is really sad, considering he was trying so hard to be different. Did you guys see the video? It made me bawl my eyes out when I saw it. It was the first time I got really affected by him dying, when he was talking about when he met Julia Roberts and he couldn't believe that anyone that famous and amazing would love him. So he broke up with her before she could break up with him. And he said the look of confusion on her face, that I was breaking up with her, but he just couldn't believe that she could love him. And then people say self-concept doesn't matter. How to bring him back. Guys, when someone's dead, they dead. You're dead. Guys, you got to remember, this is your meat suit. Nothing is created nor destroyed. You're still here. He's still here. He's just, his meat suit's died. You understand? All right, guys, I'm going to go on that depressing note, but let's think of him fondly.